In the quiet spaces where their name no longer lights up your phone, where their laughter no longer echoes in your ears, a silent force is at work. They may be gone from your sight, but don't be fooled. When an avoidant checks on you from the shadows, something sacred is unfolding. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's a canvas of conflict, painted with the colors of a heart that loves deeply yet fears losing itself in love. This is your moment to rise, not to chase, to become so radiant that your light reaches them even through their distance. Because in their silence you hold the power to transform, not just them but yourself. Welcome to the art of loving without losing, of shining without chasing, of becoming the peace they've been searching for all along. Avoidants are not heartless, they are guardians of their own scars. Somewhere in their story, closeness became a thief, stealing freedom, safety, peace. So they learn to build walls, not to keep love out, but to protect the fragile parts of themselves that once trusted too much. Connection for them feels like standing on the edge of a cliff, exhilarating yet terrifying. Their soul hungers for it, but their heart whispers, "Stay back, it's not safe." When they check on you in silence, scrolling through your photos, lingering on your words, asking about you through others, they're reaching across that chasm in the only way they know how, through distance. Through silence, through the safety of invisibility. That silence isn't forgetfulness, it's evidence that you mattered. It's proof that your presence carved a space in their mind, a corner of their heart they can't ignore, even when closeness feels like a storm they're not ready to weather. Their quiet observation is a confession. You were significant enough to linger, even when their fears wouldn't let them stay. But this moment isn't about what they're doing, it's about what you're becoming. Their silence is not your cue to crumble, it's your call to rise. You can chase their shadow, or you can stand tall in your light. You can question your worth, or you can embody it. You can beg for their presence, or you can become so vibrant that your energy echoes across the distance, undeniable and magnetic. Energy never lies. You know that feeling in your gut. The one that tells you someone's thinking of you, wondering about you, still tethered to the memory of your light. That's real. That invisible thread between you doesn't snap just because the texts stop or the calls fade. It hums with life, pulsing with the truth of what you shared. But here's the secret. That thread grows stronger not when you tug on it, but when you let it be. When you stop chasing and start living in your power, you shift the frequency. You move from fear to freedom, from need to radiance. And freedom is magnetic. Freedom makes them feel safe. Freedom whispers to their guarded heart, "You can come closer. You won't lose yourself this time." Maybe they'll never say it. Maybe the message will never come. But in their silence, they're learning. They're learning how to love without dissolving, how to miss without running, how to care without controlling. And you're learning the divine art of patience, the strength of holding space without demanding presence. You're discovering that love doesn't rush what's sacred, it trusts the timing of the soul. So if they're checking on you from afar, let it remind you your energy still matters. Your presence left a mark. Your love was a light that still burns in their quiet moments. Don't collapse in their absence. Expand. Don't chase what's pulling away. Become what's unshakable. Because one day, when their silence turns to healing, they'll see that the peace they sought in distance was always reflected in you. This silent observation is one of the most misunderstood parts of an avoidant's heart. When they step back, when the texts stop and the calls go quiet, it's easy to think they've stopped caring, but that's a lie. Their silence isn't absence, it's control. It's their way of navigating the hurricane of emotions that connection stirs within them. Avoidants feel deeply, sometimes more than most, but that depth is their Achilles heel. It overwhelms them, threatens to sweep them away. So instead of speaking their truth, they retreat into the safety of observation. They scroll through your stories, replay your words in their mind, linger on the warmth of your energy. It's their way of staying close without drowning in vulnerability. In their world, watching from a distance is safer than reaching out. It lets them feel the flicker of connection without the risk of exposure. They tell themselves, if I can still see them, still know they're okay, I haven't lost them. They hover in the background, convincing themselves they're detached, when in reality, they're tethered to you more than they'll admit. This is the paradox of the avoidant heart. They crave closeness but fear its cost. They want safety, but intimacy feels like a battlefield. So they compromise, they observe, they keep tabs. They try to manage their emotions by staying hidden while keeping you in their orbit. It's their way of saying, I care. I just don't know how to care without breaking. For you, this can feel like a riddle wrapped in pain. You sense their presence but see no proof. You feel their energy but hear no words. They're there and not there, a ghost in your world. But that's the essence of their struggle, a tug-of war between their longing for love and their need for safety. Watching you lets them balance those forces. It gives them control over something that feels uncontrollable. Every glance at your life, every quiet scroll, every unspoken question is their heart whispering, you're still important. I'm just not ready to face what that means. This isn't about invading your world, it's about reassuring theirs. They're not checking on you to control you. They're checking to calm the ache of separation. It's their quiet form of intimacy, built not on words but on watchfulness. It's not rejection, it's regulation. Their nervous system is trying to process connection without spiraling into panic. If you could peer behind their walls, you'd see it. Their silence isn't indifference, it's overload. They're thinking of you, reflecting on you, remembering you. They're searching for signs that it's safe to come closer. And in their own way, they're learning that love doesn't always mean pain. Your power lies in how you respond to this silence. You can let it unravel you, or you can let it refine you. You can chase their shadow, desperate for a sign, or you can stand firm in your worth, knowing your light is enough. The choice is yours, but the truth is clear. Chasing pulls them further away, while radiance draws them near. When you live in your power, when you focus on your growth, your joy, your peace, you become a beacon. You don't need to beg for their attention, your energy commands it. You don't need to force their return, your transformation invites it. This is the dance of connection with an avoidant. It's not about winning them back, it's about becoming so whole that their presence or absence doesn't shake you. It's about loving them without losing yourself, holding space without sacrificing your peace. It's about trusting that what's meant for you will find you, not because you chased it, but because you became it. So let their silence be your mirror. Let it reflect your strength, your patience, your unshakable light. Because in that silence, you're not just waiting, you're becoming. For an avoidant, emotional safety is the air they breathe. It's more vital than connection, more precious than affection, more sacred than love itself. To most of us, sharing feelings is a bridge to closeness, a way to build trust, to weave hearts together. But for an avoidant, it's like standing naked in a storm, exposed and defenseless. Somewhere in their past, vulnerability became a wound. Maybe love came with strings attached. Maybe their needs were dismissed, their trust betrayed. Over time, they learned that emotions are dangerous, that opening up means losing control. So when they start to care, their system sounds an alarm. Be careful. Don't get too close. You could disappear. This is why their silence, their distance, their hesitation isn't about you. It's about survival. They're not ignoring you. They're steadying themselves in the chaos of their own emotions. Expressing love feels like handing over their armor, and that's a risk they've learned to avoid. It's not that they don't want to share, it's that they don't know how to without feeling like they're drowning. So instead of speaking, they retreat. Instead of opening up, they observe. Their love language isn't words, it's endurance. The fact that they're still there, even silently, is a testament to how much they feel, even if they can't say it. To you, this might feel like a cruel paradox. If they care, why can't they show it? But for them, showing it feels like stepping into quicksand. Feeling deeply is overwhelming enough. Putting it into words makes it real, and real is terrifying. Their silence is their shield, their way of loving you within the boundaries of their comfort. It's not indifference, it's self-preservation. When they go quiet, they're not pushing you away. They're trying to find balance in a world where love feels like a tightrope. They're asking, can I feel this and still be whole? Can I love and not lose myself? This need for safety shapes everything. They seek control, not over you, but over their emotions, their environment, their heart. When connection grows too intense, their instinct is to pull back, not to hurt you, but to regain equilibrium. Closeness to them feels like a spark that could ignite a fire they can't contain. So they return to the sanctuary of solitude where the world feels predictable again. But even there, you're not forgotten. They think of you, they check on you, they carry you in their quiet moments, loving you from a distance where they feel safe. Understanding this changes everything. Their silence isn't a rejection. It's a coping mechanism. They're testing whether connection can exist without pressure, whether love can breathe without demands. They're wondering if they can care without being consumed. Their heart is caught in a silent war, one part longing to be seen, the other terrified of being known. That tension keeps them quiet, but it doesn't erase their feelings. Every glance at your life, every thought of you, every moment they linger on your memory is proof. You're still with them, even if they can't say it. For you, this is a call to patience. It's not the kind that waits passively, but the kind that grows fiercely. Patience that says, I see your struggle, and I choose to love you without forcing you to change. Patience that holds space for their healing while you nurture your own. You can't rush their process, but you can show them what safety looks like. When you stay steady, when you respond with compassion instead of desperation, you become a mirror of a new possibility. That love can be a haven, not a hurricane. This kind of love is a spiritual practice. It asks you to stand in your power, to hold your ground without chasing, to offer warmth without demanding reciprocation. It teaches you that true connection doesn't need to be forced. It unfolds when both hearts feel safe. For an avoidant, safety means freedom. It means knowing they can love without being trapped, that vulnerability won't destroy them. When they sense that freedom in you, when they see you living in peace, not pressure, their walls begin to soften. Their silence starts to shift into trust, not because you pushed, but because you proved that love can coexist with independence. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow dance, a delicate balance of presence and space. But every step you take in your own growth, every moment you choose peace over panic, strength over striving, creates a ripple. You become a living example of what love without chains looks like. You show them that closeness doesn't have to mean chaos, that connection can be a gift, not a cage. And in that space, they begin to heal. They start to believe that maybe, just maybe, they can love without losing themselves. Your role isn't to fix them, it's to reflect them, to show them, through your own radiance, that safety is possible. That love can be steady, that they can come closer without fear of drowning, and as you hold that space, you grow too. You learn the power of loving without clinging, of standing tall without needing validation. You discover that your worth doesn't depend on their actions, that your light shines brightest when you're rooted in your own truth. This is the beauty of this journey. It's not just about them finding their way, it's about you becoming unshakable. So when their silence feels heavy, let it be a reminder you are not invisible. Your energy is felt. Your presence is powerful. You don't need to chase their acknowledgement to know your impact. Keep living, keep growing, keep shining. Because in your strength, you're not just holding space for them. You're rewriting the story of love itself. A story where patience becomes power, where silence becomes sacred, where two souls can find their way to each other without losing themselves. Follow for more videos.